Alright, welcome back to the garage. On today's episode, we're finally going to be doing the final sanding and color on the oval window conversion bug. So if you've been following along, we did the oval window graph and we did the ragtop conversion on the 63 VW bug. But throughout the whole process, it's either been in a gray primer or black primer. But today, basically, we're finally going to be putting the final color on it, which is similar to a rust red primer and a ruby red. What I did is I had the original roof clip that we cut off color matched, and I had that paint actually put into spray cans for us. So what I'm going to do is do the final sanding on that. I'm going to probably do like a 4, 5, and 600 grit sanding on that, and then we will spray the final color on it. Let that dry maybe a day or two, and then we'll go over that and sand that with various grits to bring through some of the patina underneath that. Remember, we shot the roof with a black high build primer since the rest of the car has some black scuffs and stuff like that showing through. So we'll bring some of that out to kind of blend that into the rest of the car. So right now, let's go outside. Start sanding, put the color on, let that dry for a day or two, and then start patinaing it. Again, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe down below, and let's get started. Alright, so we got all the body work done on the rear oval clip. It's in its final stage from what I consider a final stage of high build primer. For show quality finish, it's far from perfect. But for a patina finish, it's really good. It may have a couple pinholes here and there, or light fine scratches. But from what basically for what we're doing, it's really good. It's nice and straight. It's far superior than a lot of the other body work that's done on the car. So it's ready for its final block sanding and then color. So what I'm going to do is go over it with basically a rubber block, and then 4, 500, and 600 grit wet sandpaper. And most of your sandpapers will have the grit size on the back. I use half a sheet, and then basically just wrap them around the rubber block, like so. And then dip them in water and go over it. I'll drop, I'm just running regular soap and water, just hand soap or same type of soap you'd use to wash your dishes. I'll drop the sandpaper in the water so it can start getting soft and more pliable. Also, I use any type of towel, leave that in water. This way, when you're working it, you can leave the towel on top and have it above where you're working, so it's constantly dropping water above you and keeping the area that you're working moist. You could keep bringing the towel up, leave it above you, and as you see, it keeps a water source above you and keeps water running down. The wetter and slicker you keep your surface, the easier it is to sand. So that's basically why you use the soap. The soap slickens the water and it helps it for you basically to sand. So let's get started. we're done with 600. At this point, I'm gonna just fold the sandpaper into 4 and go over all like the small areas just by hand, stuff that you can't get with the block sander. Alright, I'm just going to go over it with the soap and water from the bucket and hose it down. I forgot one area I want to do. I want to get these fins. Even though you don't see them, if you don't sand them, they may look kind of fuzzy. So I'm going to sand these real quick. Dry it off, dry it with rag and air, and then pull it into the garage. We'll degrease it and start putting some color on it. Let's pull it in. That should be good right there. You guys will be able to see it. We'll index her. Windex her twice. Windex her once, cover it with plastic, and then Windex her one more time. So you can see the towel even got a little bit of black on it, so you can see there's still dirt on it. So that's all taped up. I left a loose line here because I'm going to feather in and I don't want a tight tape line. So basically I'm going to go just a hair past here, and if this blows up and waves, that's good because I don't want a crisp tape line, because I'm going to basically be blending in here. Same thing down here. I'm just going to feather back down here and blend in here. So I don't want a hard tape line. Same thing here, I rolled this edge, so I'm going to use the gutter to be my dividing edge of where the color goes. The original colors on this side of the gutter, the blacks on this side of the gutter. So I had the original panel that we cut off of there. I had it color matched and paint mixed up, and then put into spray cans so we could just spray it. This is single stage with a flattening agent in it, and I'm hoping that the color match is close enough so that it blends really well. Once it dries completely, not today, I'm gonna let it dry a complete 24 to 48 hours. Then we'll go over it, scuff it, and bring out some of this black underneath. And then next episode, we're gonna top coat it, most likely with a clear coat. So let's start getting some color on it. Just with everything, first coat just be light coat for a tack coat. That's it. I'm gonna let this dry a couple minutes and then start pulling back tape. And actually blend a little further back. So I'm pulling this off because it's wet now. I want to just drop back down on it now. So you can see it's holding that plastic back and just shooting in there, so it could flow in there. You can see it's super wet. So it's just holding that plastic back and getting the paint to flow in there. I'll pull you off the camera or off the tripod so you can actually see it's getting the flow in. This way you get a nice blend. Once my finger's dry, I'll pull you off the tripod. Both sides we got a real good blend. And let this side dry. I'll pull you off right now. So this is the driver's side, and you can see where I blended it. I'll pull back even further. You can see, once we feather that in, that's going to come out real nice. Without patinaing it or sanding it down, you know, that's before and after. That's basically our blend right there. It's not bad at all. With, you know, some sanding and scratches into it, it'll blend in a lot better. This side's still wet. You can see I put a lot of material on it, but that's what I was doing. I was basically shooting material this way, and you can see. Let me get it to focus. You can see basically it blends pretty good. Now this is wet, so it's a lot darker still. But that's gonna make a really nice blend. Overall, this clip graft came out really nice. Pull off tape now. Put it back on the podium and tripod. Yeah, let me pull off all the tape and plastic and see what it looks like. But yeah, just as I've said in other episodes, since I'm not spraying with a hardener or anything like that, I want to let this fully dry for a few days before I start sanding it and patinaing it. This way the paint doesn't start to gum up and gunk up in my sandpaper, and I get some nice sanding action. So then I'll see you guys in a couple days when I start sanding it. It'll still be on this episode. And we'll start patinaing this, blend it in real good, make it match the rest of the car. Get the deck lid fitted on. And that would wrap up this episode. The following episode, we are going to clear coat this car. And then we'll get the fabric rag top fitted. And then we'll end up being able to fit the rear glass and everything. So it's pretty much coming along really good. But yeah, I'm really happy to see this thing in one color now. So that wraps it up for today. I will see you guys in a few minutes, which will be a few days or a couple days for me. All right, see you. All right, so it's been a few days. Roof's completely dry, good enough to sand right now. I got my bucket with soapy water, a rag like you've seen me use before, just to dip in the bucket, get water, leave on top, let water drip down, keep my roof panel wet while I'm sanding it. I'm going to switch between a couple Scotch Brights, the red and the gray, and then I'm going to be using 400 and 600 grit sandpaper just to play around and get the different patina that I kind of want. I put the deck lid on so that as I'm coming down here, I could kind of look at the deck lid and see basically what it looks like. If there's a scratch here, I might want to put a scratch here. There's a scratch here, I might want to put a scratch here. There's a scratch here, I want to put a scratch there. So this way it kind of blends in. I'm not going to patina the deck lid anymore, but I do want to make sure that it kind of lines up as far as age and stuff like that. The deck lid, I did put quick disconnects on it, so I can easily take it on and off if I want to get in here and not have it on my way. But this way I do have it here lined up as a nice reference. So I just basically have two heavy blend areas, meaning that you want to get them to look like they match, which is along the deck lid, and then the one area that we did a nice paint blend in here. So this I want to feather sand it in. All this I could do whatever I want with, and then this you kind of want to match the aging of the deck lid. If there's this, like I said, if there's scratches and they look like there should have been a scratch above it, then basically match it and line it up. So one thing I am going to do is just tape around the aluminum trim of the rag top, and then we'll start sanding it. Alright, so I have the rag top trim taped. This way when I'm sanding I don't scuff it, scratch it. So let's get started. I'm going to wipe the roof down just with soap and water. This way it's kind of clean. I could kind of look and see what I'm working with. And then we can start sanding. Alright, so I always suggest to start out as light as possible, see how quickly you cut through the paint, and then go more aggressive. So I'll start out with the Scotch Brights first. So I'm already showing black pretty quick up here. So I think I could probably get away with this. I'll probably play around with the 600, just see what it does. And again, it's kind of experimenting, but going at it cautiously. Yeah, the 600 took it down quick. So I'm done right there. It's perfect. It came out really nice. I'm gonna probably remove the deck lid just so I could get at this bottom lip a little better. Alright, so I'd say pretty much this half of the car is pretty much done. Most of the bottom half, so I'm going to jump on to the other half. So this side, I guess I had a little bit more paint on. I'm gonna go down to 500 on it. All right, I broke through. I'm gonna go back to 6. I think I'm gonna stop there. So that's another thing, knowing when to stop. So I think that looks really, really good. Let me hose this off, soap it down, and go from there. All right, with that, everything looks good here for me. I think I want to do something here. All right, just kind of eyeball it, see if anything doesn't look right. I think it just needs something right in here. right, that looks good. Just Windex, wipe it off with a microfiber. I'll take you off and give you a close-up. I'll put the deck lid on so you can see it all together. All right, so I'll give you a close-up. You can see one of the blends right here. To me, it came out pretty good. I mean, you figure straight out of a can, no blending agent. You can see some of the patina scuffing. I went, light at it. You kind of want to make it as light as possible, not make it look overdone. And again, I was trying to match what was already on the body. As I mentioned, if you've been watching the channel and watching the build, I got this car just body only. So it didn't have a deck lid. It didn't have fenders, but it had doors, wrong doors. So I put these doors on it. But the body already had these marks on it. It was already this rust red primer, ruby red color, and it already had these marks on it. So basically what I'm trying to do is match this same distress look. And I think I pretty much did it. So you can see here, I mean, to me, it kind of resembles what you got going on the body. And again, here's our second blend. And again, for something with no blending agent, just straight out of a spray can, I think it blends very well. If you didn't point it out, I don't think anybody will notice it. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we will be top coating this, so it will hide even more once we top coat it with like a clear. I don't think it'll stand out as much. So again, this is really close up with the clip conversion, with the oval clip conversion. So you could see it's, to me, it's flawless. Of course, it's not in a show quality finish. It's just in a primer, but you could see with this sheen on it and everything, it's a really good graft. I don't see any issues with it. A lot of guys on the YouTube, you don't really see them get that close in on a lot of their builds. But yeah, fit and finish, deck lid, sits right. Opens up nice and clean. As I mentioned earlier, I put the quick disconnects on here. I like them because we're going to be tossing an engine in here shortly, so you could quickly pull your deck lid off and service it, and then put it back on instead of having to constantly bolt and unbolt everything. But again, deck lid fit is beautiful on this. Even though this is a oval deck lid and didn't belong to this, but again, this body was really good. And then when we did do the oval clip, again, we sat this deck lid up to the car to make sure that it would fit right. It is sitting down a little bit right here, but if you get close to it, you notice the deck lid is pushed in or bent in towards the top. The other thing is I don't have the spring in to hold the deck lid up, so that would actually push this back a little bit. But the deck lid, the top of the lid is actually rolled or bent a little bit. But as you can see right here, we actually line up perfectly with the body of the car. So again, overall, I think this graft came out really nice. You can see the other blend. I'll put you guys on the tripod and we'll do our exit. All right, so that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. Again, I really like the way this is coming out. I'm ecstatic. I've always wanted an oval. I have the actual capabilities to graft this in, and I had the parts, so I said, you know, F it, let's do it. I thank all of you for watching along with me and, you know, basically following along with my enjoyment of getting this done. Again, I'm super stoked. I'm really happy with the way it came out. I think the graft came out perfect. Bugs, you may not know, but bugs aren't the easiest thing to do grafts on. There are no square edges to measure across. Everything's round. It's an egg. It's an oval. So when you're doing a graft, it does pose problems. But I think it came out perfect. I'm super happy on it. I'm crazy excited to get, for one, this thing clear coated. You know, I'm excited about that, but I'm really excited to get the rag top on and get that thing wrapped up and finished. I've always wanted a rag bug, always wanted an oval that basically wraps, checks off both those boxes. So I want to hurry up, get this thing clear coated so we can get that rag on, have that thing opening and closing, and have this done, basically be an oval rag. Then we'll get that rear window in, send it off to my buddy's shop to get the engine in, R&DR Performance. I'll put his link down below. And then we'll do a couple episodes out of his shop showing you him tossing the motor in. Trans is good on this, brakes are good on this. I am going to do disc brakes up front just because I want to do a wheel change on this. I do have 17-inch Porsche Funch for this. So for me, normally I do keep drums all the way around on a lot of bugs, even on a lot of my classics, but the bolt pattern and not having to run adapters, it's easier just to do a disc brake conversion on it with that bolt pattern already on it. So that's what I'm going to do up front on this, and I'm going to have him handle all of that. So we'll do a couple episodes out of his shop. Again, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe down below. It really helps us out a lot. And as always, see you on the next episode.